Last night, the President of the United States posted a video on Truth Social. No caption, no explanation, just a chain of the most massive, earth-shattering explosions the world has ever seen. An explosion so massive that it showed up on a weather satellite. And within hours, the whole world knew what it meant. We're now officially in day 30 of Operation Epic Fury, day 30 of a superpower executing a near flawless military campaign, decades in the making, with surgical, relentless, and absolutely devastating precision. We're going to see how more and more legacy media outlets are indeed admitting that Iran's command structure is fracturing, their nuclear infrastructure is in ruins, and the polls are showing that the American people are overwhelmingly on the side of President Trump. Stick them to the very end of this video because we're going to see what the next 2 weeks could mean for this war and the future of the entire Middle East. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of the madness with breaking news and analysis that you're not going to get anywhere else. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, with everything breaking around this Iran war, you don't have the time to chase every headline. That's my job. My Patriot Alerts give you the real story and what it means for you in a few quick updates. Scan the QR code below and stay informed while you live your life. The conflict between the United States, Israel, and Iran has now officially entered its second month, and the intensity is only growing. Remember, the key calculus of this conflict is that they are decreasing while we are increasing. The regime's capacity to project power has been effectively obliterated. Yes, they can still launch retaliatory strikes sporadically, but every time they do, every time they launch missiles or drone attacks, the source of the launch, the flash that happens at that launch, is immediately identified by way of satellite imagery and destroyed in a matter of minutes. The New York Times is finally catching up to what we've been saying for weeks now. Iranian forces have been shattered. They've been fragmented, and their officials are struggling to coordinate. This is the Achilles heel of the so-called mosaic defense. Again, we've been talking about this for weeks now. Iran has a doomsday defense protocol known as the mosaic, which basically it's the protocol of what the Revolutionary Guard is supposed to do in the event of the entire Iranian leadership getting wiped out. So if command and control breaks down, then the Revolutionary Guard is supposed to break up into 31 separate units, each assigned to one of Iran's 31 provinces. And the explicit design was that if Tehran's command structure gets decimated, the regime doesn't freeze, it fragments, and it keeps fighting. So each piece keeps shooting. Each piece keeps repressing. Each piece keeps projecting power without waiting for instructions from any command center because the command center has been decimated. So this is the doctrine known as the mosaic defense. And the critical insight here is that the fact that it is activating right now is not evidence of the regime's strength or its durability. Quite the contrary, it's evidence that the regime has entered into a collapse phase, in that the regime has entered the exact collapse phase the mosaic is a response to. So when Iran keeps firing missiles haphazardly after losing so many of its commanders, those launches don't prove strategic coordination. It's the opposite. All they prove is that the doomsday system has been activated and is firing on autopilot like it was designed to do. That's not resilience. That's death throes. That's a dead hand system doing what it was programmed to do. And so in light of that, President Trump just posted an uncaptioned video to Truth Social showing a chain of utterly massive explosions lighting up the night sky over Iran. Now, according to U.S. officials cited by the Wall Street Journal, that footage captured a major American airstrike on an ammunition depot in Isfahan, Iran's third most populous city, and one of its most strategically sensitive. The weapon of choice there, high-volume, 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs, penetrator munitions specifically designed to destroy fortified and underground military facilities. Isfahan is not just any city. It's home to Iran's Badir air base, its largest missile assembly complex, and it's believed to house a significant portion of Tehran's 60% enriched uranium stockpile. The explosions were so powerful, they registered on the Meteosat 12 weather satellite. The strikes weren't limited to Isfahan. Explosions also rocked Tehran overnight, and Israel struck Imam Hussein University in the capital. That's a Revolutionary Guard-run institution reportedly used for advanced weapons research. Mass power outages hit parts of Tehran following the blast. Iran's Mosaic struck back on multiple fronts. At least 10 explosions were heard over Jerusalem as Iranian missiles streaked across the night sky toward Israel in two separate barrages, though no immediate casualties were reported. Iranian fire also spread across the Gulf region. A burning oil tanker at Dubai's port, debris injuries in Dubai's Al Bata area, and an intercepted drone attack that wounded one person near the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. NATO air defenses also reportedly intercepted a ballistic missile over Turkish airspace. That's the fourth such interception since the conflict began. With Operation Epic Fury now on day 30, Pentagon officials have previously cited a 4 to 6 week timeline for the operation, meaning that its stated objectives may indeed be reaching a decisive moment in the days ahead, specifically the next 2 weeks. And despite the legacy media's penchant for Iranian propaganda, the American people are solidly behind these efforts. The latest Harvard-Harris poll found that a full 76% of the population believes that U.S. forces are winning this conflict. 76%, again, despite 24/7 negative coverage from the increasingly irrelevant and obsolescent legacy media, as well as the online doomers, right? The MAGA turncoats. It turns out that these self-anointed influencers aren't that influential, and thank God for that. And the polls are absolutely right. All the military indicators come to a single conclusion. The United States is waging a near flawless campaign, and they also suggest that what we can expect in the days ahead. That is going to absolutely blow you away. While Trump unleashes a political reckoning, there is another crisis poisoning every American in some way, shape, or form, even in the comfort of our own homes. I'm talking about the microplastic epidemic. Now, you may have heard about this, but this is pretty shocking stuff. Check this out.
White ones, we've got clear ones.
Tons of microplastics wash ashore all over the world every day. And now for the first time, scientists in the Netherlands have detected microplastic pollution in human blood.
All the microplastics and nanoplastics we are exposed to, we inhale and we ingest, that actually, there's so much plastic that it can even enter our bloodstream.
The Dutch study on blood samples from healthy adults detected tiny plastic particles in 80% of people.
That's right. There's a microplastic crisis poisoning every American in some way, shape, or form. They're in our food, our water, our meats, our proteins. In fact, according to a recent study, we now ingest 6 times more microplastics than in 1990. It's wreaking havoc on our health and on our organ functions, and unfortunately, no one is immune from this. But there is an amazing solution. There's a unique bacterial strain found only in kimchi that's been found to effectively degrade microplastics. In fact, traditional kimchi is one of the world's most powerful superfoods. But let's be honest, it's messy, it's strong smelling, and not exactly easy to eat every single day. So that's why our good friends over at Brightcore created Kimchi One. Now you can get all the benefits of premium fermented kimchi in convenient capsule form. No mess, no taste, no hassle. I've been taking Kimchi One every single day for months now, and gang, I love it. Each capsule delivers over 900 probiotic strains, live enzymes, and antioxidants that help restore balance in your gut. People are seeing improvements in digestion, bloating, regularity, energy, metabolism. Studies show that kimchi even reduces the risk of obesity. Kimchi One is all natural, non-GMO, and 100% made right here in the USA. It's completely dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, so just anyone could take it. I personally love it, and I love knowing that I'm supporting my gut and overall health in one simple step. So if you've been looking for a way to boost your immune system and remove microplastic toxins from your body, this is it. You can get 25% off your order by going to the link below, or for an even better deal, give them a call. My friends at Brightcore would love to chat with you, and they're going to give you 50% off plus free shipping. Call them at 888-597-0233. The first 100 callers to order are going to get a free bottle of vitamin D3. Again, you only get that 50% off and free shipping when you give them a call. So once again, that number is 888-597-0233. Larry Kudlow, who was a part of Trump's first administration, he had a really nice piece out in the New York Sun, pointing out that what looks like a sudden war was actually decades in the planning. What we're witnessing in this military campaign against Iran, it's not improvised shock and awe, but the execution of a meticulously prepared strategic framework built up over years of intelligence collection, weapons development, and alliance cultivation. And the key here is that every single military metric suggests that this is among the most efficient and successful short-term military campaigns ever conducted. The U.S. has systematically dismantled Iran's air defense networks, their missile assembly infrastructure, and their ammunition depots, with Isfahan, Karg Island, and Tehran's command nodes all hit in coordinated waves alongside Israeli strikes on thousands upon thousands of targets. And Mark Halperin actually made a really good argument. He's noting that the U.S. endgame with Iran is not mysterious. It actually only has two possible paths. What we're about to see in the next few weeks, there's only two options here. Either an organically driven regime change, quietly supported by the United States and Israel, that overthrows the regime, or a regime 2.0 model where only a few leaders are replaced and Washington then basically cuts a deal with whoever's in power, similar to the current approach in Venezuela and Syria. That's absolutely key. Regime change for Trump means having a malleable, open to discussion leader. It's very different from the neocon democracy promotion or whatever other methods they've been used in the past. Those days are over. Brigadier General Mark Kimmitt has explained ad nauseum that Washington's core objectives for Iran are no nukes, no proxies, and no ballistic missile program, and that the United States can work with any Iranian government, whether emerging from a popular uprising or a reconfigured regime, if it meets those conditions, at which point sanctions relief and economic support would follow. But those are the non-negotiables. That's the unconditional surrender that Trump has been talking about. No nukes, no proxies, right? No funding of Hamas, Houthis, or Hezbollah, and no ballistic missile program. Period. End of discussion. That's non-negotiable. And the regime is being absolutely pummeled into submission. The IRGC is becoming more and more fragmented. Their decisions are becoming much more sporadic and chaotic. And you can see this with the Iranian President Pezeshkian's statements. I mean, he's doing everything he possibly can to publicly distance himself from the IRGC. So it's either going to be a pragmatic wing like Pezeshkian from within the regime that takes over, or the people are going to take out the regime and replace it with something else. One way or the other, the old regime, the hardliners, are gone. Those days are over. Those are really the only two paths forward. The whole notion that the legacy media has been peddling that Iran's going to come out of this stronger than ever is patent pro-Iranian propaganda that doesn't even have the remotest inkling of reality to it. They're basically saying that the regime's entire ability to project power can be wiped out, and yet they'll come out more powerful. I mean, you might as well be talking about square circles or flaming snowflakes or something. It's a complete contradiction in terms. But that's what we'll be keeping an eye on in the days ahead. Either a pragmatic win of the current government, a pragmatic wing of the current government comes to the surface, or the people overthrow it altogether. Either way, you can be assured of one thing. The old, hardline Iranian regime is officially a thing of the past.